The smell hit me first, burned sugar and charred dreams carried on the morning wind. I stood at the police tape, still in my pajamas and rain boots, watching the smoke rise from what used to be Flour and Heart Bakery. My bakery. My everything. "Ma'am, you need to step back," Officer Rivera said gently, recognizing me despite the soot on my face. I couldn't finish. 5 years of 3 a.m. wake-ups, burnt fingers, perfected recipes, and borrowed money. Gone. But the worst part wasn't the flames. It was the message spray-painted on the only standing wall, red letters against black char. "Working wives are worthless." I knew that handwriting. I'd seen it on passive-aggressive post-it notes for 3 years. My name is Amelia Chin, and until 6 hours ago, I owned the most popular bakery in Riverside, Connecticut. Now I owned a crime scene. "Mrs. Chun," Detective Walsh approached with his tablet. "We need to ask you some questions." "It's Ms. Chun," I corrected automatically. I kept my name. Another battle I'd fought with my in-laws. Another sign of my disrespect for tradition. "When did you last leave the premises?" Walsh asked. 10:30 last night. I was prepping for the Morrison wedding. 300 cupcakes. My voice cracked. The cupcakes that would never be delivered. The deposit I'd have to return. The reputation I'd built, one perfect croissant at a time. "Any security cameras?" I almost smiled. 8 of them. All with cloud backup. What I didn't tell him yet was that those cameras streamed directly to my business's social media accounts. A marketing gimmick I'd started during COVID. Watch us bake in real time. 50,000 followers tuning in to watch bread rise and cookies decorate. Last night, they'd watched something else entirely. My phone had been blowing up since 3 a.m. I'd silenced it, thinking it was another viral baking video. Now, sitting in the detective's car, I finally looked. 47,892 notifications. The first video had 2.3 million views. I pressed play with trembling fingers. The timestamp read 2:17 a.m. A figure in dark clothing approached my back door. The streetlight caught his face perfectly. My brother-in-law, Daniel. He carried a gas can. The comments were already dissecting every frame. Asterisk, is that woman's handwriting on the wall? Asterisk. Asterisk, look at 223. There's someone else. Asterisk. OMG, the husband is watching. I scrolled to the second camera angle. My mother-in-law, Patricia, spray painting her manifesto while Daniel doused my kitchen in accelerant. But the third figure, that's what made my blood freeze. Ryan, my husband of 3 years. Standing across the street, hands in his pockets, watching. Smiling. "Ms. Chun." Detective Walsh had been talking. "Are you all right? I need to show you something," I said, handing him my phone. 3 hours later, I sat in my lawyer's office while the internet exploded. #bakery arson was trending worldwide. News vans surrounded the police station where the Hartley family was being questioned. And my phone wouldn't stop ringing. "Don't talk to anyone," my lawyer, Grace Liu, commanded. "Not the media, not your husband, especially not your in-laws." "Ryan's been texting." I showed her the messages. Asterisk, this is insane. "I just heard. Are you okay?" Asterisk. Asterisk, I'm coming to get you. Asterisk. Asterisk, why aren't you answering? Asterisk. Asterisk, the police are here. "What did you tell them?" Asterisk. "He doesn't know about the cameras," Grace murmured. "Good. Let me handle this." I'd met Ryan at my cousin's wedding. He was charming, ambitious, from a good family. The kind my immigrant parents desperately wanted me to marry into. The Hartleys owned half the commercial real estate in Riverside. Old money, old values, old prejudices. The red flags started small. Patricia's comments about my little hobby, when I mentioned opening a bakery. Daniel's jokes about women playing business. Ryan's gentle suggestions that maybe I should focus on our future family instead. But I'd grown up watching my mother work 16-hour days at her alterations shop, building a life stitch by stitch. Work wasn't just about money. It was about identity, purpose, pride. So I opened Flour and Heart anyway. Used my inheritance from my grandmother, took out loans, renovated a tiny shop front. Ryan supported me the way you support a child's finger painting, patronizing patience for something he assumed would fail. It didn't fail. Within 6 months, I had lines around the block. Food Network scouts sniffing around. A cookbook deal on the table. 3 employees who called me chef, with respect I'd never gotten at home. That's when the real problems started. "You're never home," Ryan would complain, despite his own 60-hour weeks. A real wife cooks for her husband, not strangers, Patricia added at every family dinner. Must be nice, playing with ovens while Ryan carries the real financial burden, Daniel would smirk. They didn't know I'd paid off Ryan's student loans with my bakery profits, or that I covered our mortgage when his startup failed. In their minds, women's money wasn't real money. The last straw was last week's family barbecue. Patricia had invited her book club, 20 women who lunch and judge. I'd brought a selection of pastries from the bakery, proud of my new lavender lemon tart recipe. Store-bought, one woman asked sympathetically. Don't worry, dear. Not everyone can bake. I own the store, I said quietly. The silence was deafening. Then Patricia laughed, that tinkling, cruel sound I'd grown to hate. Amelia thinks her little bakery makes her special, as if standing behind a counter is a career. She patted my hand. When you have babies, you'll understand what real fulfillment feels like. I left early. Ryan found me packing a bag. You're overreacting, he said. Mom's just traditional. Your mother just insulted everything I've worked for. Because you're being selfish. He exploded. 3 years married and no kids because you're too busy with your stupid bakery. Do you know how that makes me look? Like a man with a successful wife? Like a man who can't control his woman. The word hung between us, ugly and honest. I want a divorce, I said quietly. No. Not please, not let's talk. Just no. You're not embarrassing my family with a divorce. You'll close the bakery, we'll start a family, and things will be normal. Or what? He smiled then. The same smile I'd fallen for at my cousin's wedding. Or I'll make sure you can't afford to keep it open. Dad owns your building, remember? Your lease is up in 2 months. I'd been planning to leave after the Morrison wedding. Had already seen lawyers, signed a lease on a new apartment. One more big order to fund my fresh start. They must have sensed it. Predators always know when prey is about to run. Now I sat in Grace's office, watching my phone light up with interview requests while my life's work smoldered. The security footage is gold, Grace said. Clear faces, criminal intent, the graffiti, that's a hate crime enhancement. But this, she pulled up a screenshot of Ryan watching. This is what will bury them. I want to press full charges, I said. It's not just criminal. We're talking civil suits. Insurance fraud. They didn't know about your cameras, probably thought you'd claim the insurance quietly. Defamation from the graffiti. Loss of income. Emotional distress. She smiled sharply. Your in-laws are about to learn that working wives can afford very good lawyers. My phone rang. Ryan again. This time I answered. What have you done? He screamed. My parents are in custody. The news is everywhere. What have I done? I laughed, actually laughed. Your family committed arson. On camera. That you watched happen. I didn't, you were just standing there. Smiling. While your mother declared working wives worthless and burned down my business. You're ruining everything. The family name. The family name ruined itself at 2:17 a.m. I switched to speaker so Grace could hear. Oh, and Ryan? That prenup your mother insisted on? The one that says I get nothing if we divorce? It has a morality clause. Whoever commits a crime forfeits all marital assets. Silence. Arson is a felony, I continued. Conspiracy to commit arson is also a felony. Would you like me to send you the footage of you watching your family destroy my property? My lawyers think the prosecutor would love it. He hung up. Within an hour, 3 things happened. 1. The Morrison wedding planner called. She'd seen the footage. We're doubling our order. Everyone wants to support you. Can you bake from a temporary kitchen? 2. A GoFundMe started by my customers had raised $30,000. The comments made me cry. Best croissants outside Paris. She hired my daughter when no one else would. Amelia made our wedding cake for free when we couldn't afford it. 3. Ryan's lawyer called. The Hartley family wanted to resolve this quietly. No, I told Grace. I want this loud. And loud it got. The footage played on every news channel. Food Network offered me a show, Rising from the Ashes with Amelia Chun. The publisher fast-tracked my cookbook, new title, A Woman's Place, Recipes and Rebellion. But the best part came during the arraignment. Patricia Hartley, perfectionist matriarch, stood in an orange jumpsuit while the judge read the charges. Arson. Destruction of property. Hate crime enhancements for the gendered slur. How do you plead? Her lawyer spoke quickly. Not guilty, Your Honor. Mrs. Hartley was emotionally distressed by her daughter-in-law's abandonment of family values. Did these family values include arson? The judge interrupted, having clearly seen the footage. Daniel pled not guilty too, claiming temporary insanity. The prosecutor played the video, him methodically dousing every corner, checking his work. Very sane. Very thorough. Ryan wasn't charged with the arson, but conspiracy charges were pending. He sat in the gallery, designer suit wrinkled, watching his family empire crumble. I rebuilt quickly. A competitor offered me temporary kitchen space. My customers organized baking brigades. The Morrison wedding happened on schedule. I worked 20 hours straight, but every cupcake was perfect. The bride cried when she heard the story. The groom made a toast to women who rise like good bread, no matter how hard you punch them down. The divorce was swift. That morality clause worked both ways, and surveillance footage of Ryan watching his family commit felonies was pretty immoral. I got the house, the savings, and my freedom. Patricia got 18 months in prison, reduced from 5 years for good behavior. The judge, a woman who'd worked her way through law school while raising 3 kids, was unsympathetic to her traditional values defense. Daniel got 2 years. The methodical nature of his arson impressed no one favorably. Ryan lost everything. The family business crumbled under legal fees and civil suits. He moved to Florida, last I heard, selling timeshares. As for me, I write this from my new bakery, twice the size of the original, in a better location. The insurance money, the civil settlements, and the GoFundMe let me build the kitchen I'd always dreamed of. Commercial ovens that could handle 1,000 croissants. A testing kitchen for experiments. A teaching space for the baking classes that sold out in minutes. The wall behind the register holds my favorite review, framed in gold. Flour and Heart isn't just a bakery. It's a monument to every woman who was told her dreams were worthless. Every bite tastes like victory. New York Times. Below it hangs a photo from opening day. Me, covered in flour, surrounded by my team. All women who'd been told they couldn't or shouldn't. Single mothers, immigrants, college dropouts, abuse survivors. We'd all been burned one way or another. Now we rise at 3 a.m. to make bread. Together. Patricia was wrong about one thing. I do understand real fulfillment. It's not in serving a husband who watches you burn. It's in building something from ashes, feeding your community, and proving that a woman's place is wherever she damn well builds it. The security cameras still stream live. 50,000 followers have become 500,000, all watching us work. Sometimes they catch me smiling at odd moments, usually when I'm kneading dough. They think I'm happy about my success. And I am. But mostly I'm smiling because I know Patricia Hartley, prisoner number 38462, starts her kitchen shift at 4 a.m. every day, baking bread for the other inmates. I heard she's getting quite good at it. Funny how that worked out.